Welcome back to CryptoFi Invest, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. And today we're going to be discussing the relationship between the Nasdaq and Bitcoin and why do I think they might be decoupling. So, in general, Nasdaq and Bitcoin, they tend to move together, right? So one goes up and then there's a sort of a liquidation in the market, everything goes down, but when there's more money printing and economic stimulus, they tend to move up. The difference is Bitcoin goes up a lot more and it goes down a lot more because it's a more volatile asset. So you can see when there's liquidity issues in the market, right? COVID crash, let's use COVID crash as a perfect example there. Everybody panicked. Nobody knew what was going to happen. The stock market crash. Everybody needed liquidity. Everybody needed money. Everybody was afraid. So they flee to safety. They flee to dollars. So they sell everything that they have. And they sell Bitcoin. And they sell anything they can put their hands on for safety, right? So you can see that they move together. There's panic in the market, right? So that's one. The second point is when they move up together is when they inject money into the market. So there's inflation and all assets, they move together. So it seems like sometimes in the markets everything is related. Well, basically they are because of so much money printing. But at some point they decouple. And why do they decouple? So with the Nasdaq and Bitcoin, although they say, oh, if the Nasdaq comes down, Bitcoin must come down. And if the Nasdaq goes up, Bitcoin must go up. Almost like it needs to follow the same path as Nasdaq. But that's not really always the case. They move together with the economy, but the Nasdaq is made up of stocks where they need to be profitable and they need to perform well. While Bitcoin, it's just a monetary hedge, right? So it hedges against the US dollar debasement. It's a hedge against inflation in the long run. It's people flee to Bitcoin because they're tired of the system. They don't agree with all this money printing, so they flee to Bitcoin. And it works. It's been working ever since it's been created. The trend is up and to the right. That's what it is. Now, obviously, in the top of the market, when Bitcoin was at 69 and the Nasdaq was at 16,000, Federal Reserve decided to stop the stimulus and start increasing interest rates and pulling money out of the system. So that doesn't freeze the economy. That slows down the pace of the economy. There's less money available for people to borrow and invest and buy assets. So things, markets are forward looking and things start to slow down. They start to sell assets. People start to get scared. Price movements start to come down. And there's a liquidity issue in the market. So Bitcoin moves together with the Nasdaq. But at some point, they stop moving together, right? Because Bitcoin doesn't generate profit. If you get a company that, say, Amazon, that announced that it wasn't as profitable, it goes down. But Bitcoin doesn't generate profit, so Bitcoin does its own thing. And why is that? It's because Bitcoin doesn't need to be profitable. It doesn't have earnings reports, right? If big stocks, if big tech companies don't show that they're profitable, they're gonna sell their shares, they're gonna sell the stocks because they're not worth as much, right? So this is a period where a lot of the tech companies get devalued, but Bitcoin, it starts to decouple because where are the earnings for Bitcoin? There's no earnings for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It does its own thing. So zooming in to a shorter time frame, right? So 4-hour chart. Let's try to draw some lines here and let's look at the price action that Bitcoin's been ranging in and what are the support levels and what are the prices that we have to pay attention to, okay? There's many different ways you can do this. There's trend lines, there's indicators. So I just try to keep it simple to see where are the immediate support levels and market inefficiency. So when I say market inefficiency, this is market inefficiency. So it just just what do you say, rockets down and rockets up, right? So that's inefficiency. So the market usually tends to grab the liquidity in these inefficient regions, right? It's okay. So we got a resistance level down here around the $20,000 area. So there's a lot of range here. So there's a lot of volume, and then broke it down. Okay, and then resistance, 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 resistance. So people were just selling off into this region, right? Resistance, it broke out here, but then it went straight back down. Resistance, resistance, and then it broke up, right? So for us to understand that it becomes support, it has to be tested. So here it tried to test it, but it broke down again, came back, and resistance, resistance. So we were in this range. But here, broke the resistance, went back down, and became support. And when it bounced, it basically means it's a confirmation of a strong support. There's a lot of buyers stepping in this area, okay? So we got a demand area. This is what I've got here. This is in the short term, right? There's a lot of volatility here. Now, because this has been turned into a support level, price action suggests that we bounce from here and we move to the upside. First, we got to break this $21,000 mark, which is the top of this range. And then my next target is to try to capture all of that inefficiency, all of that liquidity from that dump that happened in September with a price target of $22,000, give or take, right? And then we can come back here and see what happens in this region, if it bounces back or if it breaks to the upside, and then reassess what are the targets and what are the regions. Now, if we do break the support, anything can happen. I don't have a crystal ball. If it breaks the support, I expect it to come back up, retest it as a resistance level, and then we're going to be back in this range, right? Then we're going to be back in this boring range, which could happen. It could last for weeks, could last for months. There's a couple of ways that the market can shake you out of the market. One is by capitulating, which is panic selling, and the other one is just boring price action. People lose interest. There's no trading, there's no excitement, so they just leave the market. So yeah, this is all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I just saw the decoupling from Nasdaq and Bitcoin since the FOMC meeting and since the earnings of tech stocks last week. I think this could be a moment for Bitcoin to shine, and maybe we can get a bull rally. We've been discussing a lot of the indicators that suggest this is a macro bottom area for Bitcoin. And if we do bounce from here, if we manage to get out of here, I do expect a bull rally at least to 30,000. Who knows? Break this. There's a lot of price action here. So 30,000 is going to be tough to break. And maybe, optimistically, we can, go back to maybe 40,000 beginning of next year. Who knows? But looking at this, what do you think has better odds? Price coming down or price coming up? Knowing what you know about Bitcoin. In my opinion, we have more odds of price bouncing to the upside. Could go down to $14,000, but I think this is a bottoming region and we're due for a relief rally. Maybe we get a relief rally and then bounce back, but I just see a relief rally coming in. We're overdue for that. Always happens. Markets never change. Human behavior is always the same. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk. These are my thoughts. I'm expecting in the shorter time frame this price action. I expect this area here to hold, and I expect us to move to the upside in the short time frame. And then we reassess. We have a look at the indicators, what's going on, and we set new price targets for the short time frame. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give us a like. Again, this is only financial opinion. This is not financial advice. This is only for educational purposes. So, do your own research sort of thing. All right. Hope you guys have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.